We knew that Sven had been less than well as he stood down from his role in Sweden last year, but the extent of the illness and his sort of graphic acknowledgement of the proximity to death, it is a bit of a shock. I know he's 75 and people do get old and people do die, but you don't want to hear it, do you? You'd rather that you didn't know, and suddenly for him to come out and tell the world of the diagnosis, it is quite chilling, really. The thing that we'll remember him for in this country is it was England's first foreign manager from 2001 to 2006. But of course, he also took charge of Manchester City. And before that, he'd been really successful in Italy, in Portugal, winning the title with Sampdoria, working at Benfica. And after England, he travelled the world with various jobs as well, including a rather short, ill-fated spell at Notts County, of course. And yeah, he was a presence when he first came into the England job. I don't think any of us really knew quite what to expect. He was this understated chap, clearly quite bright. He took over a team that was in meltdown after Kevin Keegan's reign disintegrated, with Howard Wilkinson having taken charge of the one game in Finland and declared England should, basically give up on qualifying for the 2002 World Cup. And within a few months of Eriksson taking over, we've beaten Germany 5-1 in Munich. A truly astonishing night that everyone who was there will never forget. 3 tournaments, 3 quarterfinals, and at the time it felt like a disappointment. And then we had a period where it actually felt like an achievement. When England failed to qualify for the 2008 Euros, getting to 3 quarterfinals on the spin and losing them so narrowly, 2 on penalties and 1 against the Brazil side, just because England basically ran out of legs in the heat of Shizuoka in 2002, you start to think, actually, he didn't do a bad job. He took the view that no one should care what he got up to off the pitch. Private is private was his mantra, which goes down as much as a sort of folklore as first half good, second half not so good, and too many yellow cards, which were the sort of stock phrases he'd come out with. Yeah, there was his rather tempestuous relationship with Nancy Delorio, which lasted for all of his time as England manager and a bit beyond. But also we had the infamous tryst with Ulrika Johnson as well, and others. It's fair to say that Sven was a bit of a ladies' man. I don't think he would deny that. He just thought he was being polite. He thought he was always polite, actually. Even when he was angry, he was polite. He had a charm about him that I don't think any of us quite understood, but there was no question about it. He worked with some of the world's great players. Most of the managers who worked under him really liked him. There were times when they felt he was a bit passive. England players were looking for a bit more at times. Gareth Southgate famously in the interview took up, when we needed Winston Churchill, we got Ian Duncan Smith, and that was a bit of a suggestion that he didn't crack the whip sufficiently. But there was a lot of love for him, a lot of respect for him. Others felt he was a little bit too limiting as a coach. He played a pretty military 4-4-2, but he made the big decision. He inherited, after one friendly game in Italy, David Beckham as captain from Peter Taylor, who was the caretaker. But he made it clear that Beckham was going to be his captain. And under Sven's leadership, Beckham and Owen played their best football for England. I mean, Owen scored most of his goals for Sven. Beckham was captain, so many occasions, and it was really important for both of them that he had that faith in them.